Zotero for Scientists Tutorial Series by Monika Wahi. Step 3. Creating, sharing, and populating libraries. First, let's look at our libraries in Zotero. Back in the Zotero application, let's look at a private library that has already been populated. Clicking on a specific library filters the list by project. Now let's look at some existing group or shared libraries. Note that even within one project, folders can be made to further filter the lists. We will now populate our new shared library on adrenalectomies. Before we populate our library from the internet, we need to make sure our browser has the Zotero add-in. I'm using Chrome, so I will show you how to install the Chrome add-in. Return to the Zotero homepage and click Download Now. Look under the big red Z and click on the Chrome symbol. You will be brought to the page where you can add the add-in for Chrome. Now we are ready to surf the internet for adrenalectomy sources. Returning to the Zotero application, let's click on and highlight the adrenalectomy library. Next, let's go out on the internet using Google to search for a reputable web page on adrenalectomies. Oh, here's a good one from the Mayo Clinic. Let's go to the web page so we can add it. Now that we're at the web page, we can right-click anywhere on the web page and choose Save Zotero Snapshot. Back in Zotero, you will see the web page has been added to the library with a complete record. Now let's go back to the internet. Let's go this time to Google Scholar and look for some scientific sources. Again, let's search for adrenalectomies. Let's look down through the list of results returned. Here's a good paper. Let's click on it. Let's look at where we landed from clicking on this first link. Oh, it looks like we're at Science Direct. Click on the rectangle in the upper right of your address bar due to the Google add-in. Notice how a red box appears in the lower right-hand corner, letting you know it's saving to the Zotero library. Note that that box won't appear in the address bar unless it is a site that the Google add-in recognizes. Let's look at some other science sites. Going back to Google Scholar, we go and look at multiple listings for the same article. Let's choose PubMed. Notice that PubMed also has a rectangle in the address bar, so we add the article again from PubMed. As you can see, we can also go directly to the Surgery Journal page and add the citation there. Notice how the full text PDF does not save. Even though I wrote the article, I don't have access to it. Thanks, Elsevier. Back in the Zotero application, you will notice that each of these snapshots saves slightly differently. Let's choose to keep the first one, and therefore let's edit it. Let's start by clicking on the Notes tab and clicking on Add to add a note. We'll type in a note, and then notice it automatically saves. Finally, let's click on Tags and click on Add just to add a tag, which again automatically saves. If a collaborator has access to the PDF version, he or she can attach it and share it with you. It's true that sometimes you can get lucky. You can find a citation where the article is available full text on the web. If that is the case, and you use the add-in to add the citation to Zotero, then Zotero will preserve your access to that full text article. Note that when we return to the Zotero application and we look at the record, the PDF link is there, and if we click on it, we go directly to the PDF. Now let's say you have a PDF file that you want to share with a collaborator by attaching to a record in a shared library in Zotero. Select the record, click on the paperclip, and choose Attach Stored Copy of File. Then attach the copy of the file from your computer. Finally, allow me to highlight a few other features that are especially useful for scientists in Zotero. Using the Google add-in, newspaper articles can also be easily added as well. Let's go to this article from the Washington Post. Again, clicking on the rectangle to use the add-in allows the library to receive the new citation in the newspaper format. Unfortunately, not all types of sources have a standardized format in Zotero, like this government report, as you can see. Government reports have to be added manually. Therefore, we return to Zotero and click on the green button with the white plus on it. There we choose the report format and start manually entering the report. You and your collaborators can also use the tag function in Zotero to organize your sources according to a system you set up. As you can see with some of the automated records, especially from PubMed, there are a lot of unsystematic tags that come in. These are best removed. If tags are applied systematically, notice how in the lower left corner of the screen the sources can be easily filtered. Thus concludes Step 3, Creating, Sharing, and Populating Libraries. Stay tuned for our final step, Step 4, where you will learn how to cite sources and create bibliographies.